Hi, Carol. Thank you very much for joining us today. To get us started, can you tell us about yourself and your teaching experience?
Hi, Ellie. Well, it's lovely to be here. Thank you very much for having me. Well, I've been a teacher for many years, more than I care to think about, really. And my first teaching position working with children was in Caracas, Venezuela. And I remember I was given a completely unsuitable course book for older learners to use. So I quickly learned about the need to create a different approach and my own materials. Sometime later, what really triggered my passion in working with the early years was when I had my own children, and I became fascinated with their language development and growing up in a multilingual environment. Many years and jobs later, in the early 90s, I was responsible for introducing courses for 4 to 6-year-olds at a teaching centre in Madrid, where I was assistant director responsible for academic management. This was a time when there was suddenly a huge demand by parents for English courses for very young children. And it was also a brilliant formative experience for me, as I had to think through every aspect of working with very young children: the size of classes, the furniture, the time of day, the length of lessons, the materials to use, and above all, training and supporting other teachers. When I left that position, I went on to teach preschool children at a state school in Madrid, a very different experience from teaching in a private language institute. And at the same time, I wrote my first story-based coursebook series for preschool children. This was back in the early 2000s. Since then, I've worked as an educational consultant and trainer for the early years in many different international contexts and travelled all over the world as a conference speaker. I've also written a second coursebook series for preschool children based on extensive research, which I was also involved in, carried out in global markets, and as well as my accumulated knowledge and experience, and which I'm proud to say has been extremely successful globally.
It's clear you've got a huge amount of experience and expertise in teaching very young learners.
Quite a bit.